Hey y'all, it's Kadisha. I'm back with another video. Today, the Lord allowed me to realize the importance of having friendships. And everybody who comes to church is not necessarily does not necessarily have a relationship with God. And I really can't even say that it does not necessarily mean that they are perfect, because of course none of us are perfect, or it doesn't mean that they're not dealing with something. Today I actually talked to someone, and I see them pretty much often when I go to church, and they were telling me about an addiction that they had. And the thing is with me, I am very and I don't know to say this or not, but I am childlike. I'm gonna say childlike because the other word is not good. So I'm very childlike. So sometimes I ask questions. Oh, excuse me. Like something's in my eye. I ask questions that necessarily adults may not ask, because it's just kind of like, you don't ask that. Yeah, you know how sometimes we'll tell a kid, you don't say that type of thing. And so I did that today, not intentionally. I just said it, and they were like, no, whatever. And so they went ahead and started telling me about what their addiction was. And it just made me realize that oftentimes we go to church thinking like, okay, I need to hear a word from God. And of course, yeah, we do need to hear a word from God. However, there are many hurt people, and when I say hurt, I'm talking about myself, broken people who are going through life, who live an everyday life, but still have things that they're battling with, that most of the time we as a church body going to the same church does not even know, because we're so caught up in hearing a word from the pastor. And like I said, this is nothing wrong. This is why we go to church. We want to hear a word from God. However, it is important for us to have our own relationship with the Lord, and to also have relationships inside of the church, and not even necessarily inside the church, outside the four walls. It's like, don't just allow the church to be a place where you come together on Sunday. It's like, okay, let me build these relationships. It's important. It's a reason why the Lord has allowed us to meet these people. So let us not only leave it at, I see you on Sunday, hi and bye, but maybe I need to connect with you during the week and see how your week is going. See if there's anything that I can help you with. See if there's anything that I can just be a listening ear, because sometimes that's all people need. And I noticed that was something that they basically, I'm not going to say that they don't have, because oftentimes we probably do. We probably just don't use it. I don't know. But this was the first time I actually connected with that person and talked to them on a deeper scale, other than hello, or, bye, how you doing type of thing. And I was just, man, it just made me, I don't know, it made me just feel really good, because like I said, we never know when those people or even ourselves need someone that actually just listen. Because of course I didn't give any advice about addiction, because I'm like, I don't know what you need to do. And so I want to make sure I'm not stepping out of bounds, but I want to be that listening ear to my brother or my sister if they need it. And so they got to tell me, things that they were dealing with. And it was so freeing, because the Lord said how we overcome is by the blood of the Lamb, of course, about Jesus, and by the words of our testimony. So I'm not saying that this person is going to overcome this addiction tomorrow. However, I do believe that they will overcome that. And it's up to us to, of course, also pray for people. And that's why it's not for you to be up in their business and tell their business to the whole church. And I know those things have happened. And that's why people are very skeptical of church people, because they're like, well, you tell my business. And just like today, you're probably like, well, she's telling so-and-so business. I ain't told you nothing. I'm just saying that people come into the church with an expectation. However, they're dealing with things that they need to actually talk to a physical body, and we should be that availability, because of course we think that the only person we need is God. And to a sense, yes, but the Lord will bring people into your life. And this rabbi, he said it to me, he said it so clear, and it was so good that it just stuck with me forever, because you need more than just God. And the reason why I say this is because we're not living in the day of Adam and Eve, where he was in direct communication with God. We're far removed from that. And each generation is further and further away from that Adam and Eve relationship that they had with the Lord. And so what this rabbi said, he's like, yeah, you can live in the world by yourself. He's like, but then you go to the grocery store and no one's there to put the groceries on the shelf. You have to put the groceries on the shelf. oh, there's no groceries on this shelf. You have to go and get the food from wherever it came from. Oh, it's nobody to drive the truck to go get the food. Okay, let me go get the food. Oh, it's nobody there to plant the food. So it's like, we don't think about these things that we oftentimes say, the only person I need is God. And just like me living in this apartment, I live in it by myself, but it's just like, I need the person who's going to turn on the lights. I need these people who's going to fix it up, whatever the case may be. I need people. And so we need to get out of that place where we think that we don't need anybody and allow the enemy to get us in a place of bondage, because we of course are ashamed of what we've done, and we all have a past, but it's just like we also think like, well, I don't need anybody to tell me this or that. And I was talking to my family last night, and we had this conversation on accountability and how we've come to a place where nobody wants to be held accountable, nobody wants to hold people accountable, and so we're wondering why we're living in this chaos. And it just really, like I said, it goes back to, on Sundays we get together, we meet together, we hear a word from the pastor, but then we don't connect with those other people. Yeah, you may connect people with your family if you have that, which is great. However, we also need friends. We need people that we can talk to, run things by, and say, oh, basically, can you help me during this, or pray for me for this, or whatever it is. Like I said, even just a listening ear. And I just want us to get back to that so that we can become healed people, and not going to church and getting a word from the Lord, but still going back home being the same way that we came. And I think that's going to take some deep diving get into, of course, our own relationship with the Lord, which is the most important, is having a relationship with the Lord, but also forming those relationships around you with everyday people, even if that's, at work, or if it's at church, or if it's somebody just random in the grocery store, whoever, because that's the only way that we're going to be able to be set free, and actually live this life according to the way the Lord wants us to live it. Because we need accountability. We need people to help us through certain situations, because sometimes you don't even need somebody to do anything physically, but to know somebody is praying for me when I am in a bad situation, it comforts me and it gives me hope, because it's just like, yeah, my faith may be shaken, but somebody else is pairing their faith with God. And the Lord said a three-stranded cord is not broken. So we have to remember that it is so important that we're praying one for another, but we're also being there for other people around us. This video kind of went all over, but I felt, like I said, it was so freeing today to actually hear someone talk about something that they were struggling with. And not, of course, being afraid, but being vulnerable and realizing like, yeah, I'm going through this, I'm having a tough time, but hey, I can overcome this as well, because I'm about to be praying for them. They're going to be wondering like, why I'm not having this urge anymore, because I'm praying for you. I sure am. And I'm going to go and I'm going to see them the next time, and I'm going to have another conversation with them. So I hope this video encourages you to reach out to people. And of course, we don't tell everybody our business, because some people will tell your business to other people. We don't want that. But also, you may be the person who is an accountability partner for someone else. So you may be that listening ears to someone else. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching this video. And like I always say, sa cambio que quieres ver en otros. Until next time, bye.